Okay, so we want to make sure that people can hear us. It looks like it's mostly staff, but we do have someone else participating on the webinar. So if you can raise your hand, that lets me know that you can hear me okay. Awesome. Cool, thank you. We will go ahead and get started then. It is April 14th and the time is 11 a.m. Welcome and thank you for attending the Office of Outfitters Registration Stakeholder meeting via webinar today. We want to introduce ourselves to you, for at least with the staff members that are attending from the Division of Professions and Occupations. My name is Darcy Magnuson and I'm a regulatory analyst with the division. Also attending is Ophelia Duran, the program director, Nate Brown, policy analyst, and Elena Kemp, regulatory coordinator. Looks like we also have Kathy Duran from the program on the webinar as well. The division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual amidst concerns with the spread of COVID-19. And we appreciate your flexibility, as many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before. We would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business. Your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the director as she considers whether to adopt or amend the rules we will be discussing today. More specifically, Rule 1.2, registration, application, and issuance. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the website at a later date. As the stakeholder meeting is being held solely via webinar, if you want to provide feedback on the draft changes, we ask that you raise your hand by using the hand icon if you'd like to speak, and we'll unmute your line so that you'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the question section and we will read it aloud. Before we start taking comments, we ask that anyone that is providing comments, please state your name and who you represent. Feel free to provide either general comments on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Keep your comments limited to 3 to 5 minutes or less, and try not to repeat something that was already said. You can state that you're in full agreement with someone else, and that works just fine, and we can note that. If you're using audio through your computer, please remember to put any phones on vibrate or turn them off. And if you're using audio, computer or phone audio, try to keep background noises to a minimum when speaking. And the other thing is, if you are logged in with both computer and phone audio and you try to speak, you'll get a lot of feedback. So you should either be signed in with computer audio or phone audio, especially if you're wanting to speak. So with that, we will go ahead and call speakers. So if you want to provide input on the draft changes, which we will show on the screen here momentarily, you can either raise your hand and we will unmute your line so you can speak, or you can type in a question or comment and we'll read that out loud for the recording. So far I'm not seeing any hands raised or any questions come through. We'll give you a little bit more time to make sure that people aren't mid-typing or mid-thought. If you want to speak, we can unmute you. Okay, it looks like we received a question. So let me read that. Oh, okay. Thank you. Just says all good so far. So we'll give you a couple more minutes for people that may be typing or deciding whether you want to provide any input. So I will just be quiet for a few minutes, and we'll give you until 11:08 a.m. before we proceed. So in case you just joined, we're giving people a chance to provide any input on the proposed rules. So you can do that either by raising your hand and we'll unmute you, or you can type in a question and we can read that out loud. We haven't received any comments yet. Looks like we have another question, so let me pull that up. Okay, so the question is from David Lineweber. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. So basically just expanding clarity on what first aid looks like. So the purpose of the changes in the rule are to create a pathway to licensure to implement the vocal legislation, which is for members of the military who are trying to become licensed, certified, or registered in Colorado. For this particular program, it's registered. So it's allowing that to happen. I don't know if that helps answer your question. And Ophelia, since you're on the line too, if you want to chime in at all, we can also unmute you as well. So just let us know if you want to say anything. All right. So I'm not seeing any other questions, any other hands raised. So we'll go ahead and proceed, and I'll keep monitoring the questions if anything else comes in. Thank you for participating in today's meeting. The stakeholder comments and program recommendations will be presented to the director for consideration prior to the permanent rulemaking hearing on May 15th. At the formal hearing, stakeholders will have another opportunity to testify and provide additional input as needed. If you want to provide written comments, please send them to the general mailbox at dora_dpo_rulemaking@state.co.us. We will accept written comments up to the date of the hearing. And that concludes the stakeholder meeting.